and good morning. And how are you this morning?
And a pleasant morning to you wherever you are. We thank you for choosing love. It's 32 minutes past 6 o'clock, and all the best to you wherever you are. Muchas gracias por escoger el paso del amor, el amor que podemos dar todos nosotros. Tenemos el amor dentro de nosotros.
Yes.
Lo importante, Mr. Troy, es compartir.
Yes,
el amor.
sir. Yes,
Sentir
sir.
el amor y compartirlo.
All right.
All right. Good morning,
Mr.
Mr. Troy.
Station.
Mr. Amor,
Good morning.
No,
Good morning. Good
What I
morning.
think is to experience love, to know love, and to share love. That's what
All
I was
right.
saying.
There you go. Good morning. Good morning, wherever you are, throughout the length and breadth of this beautiful jewel of ours. We certainly glad you could join us, and we glad that if you're streaming in the diaspora, certainly glad that you choose love, as Chief just mentioned. We trust that this morning discussions are going to be informative and entertaining. Today is the 24th day of June. It is a hump day, Dia del Humpo, as we like to coin it. If you're celebrating a birthday today, we say happy birthday. If you're celebrating an anniversary, we're glad that you stuck it out. Number draw last night was 63. 6-3, you won, congrats. If not, we say you could try again tonight. That draw comes up right here on Love FM and Love Television. Yeah, Chief, we're here, and on a hump day, the number drawn was 63, so you have to tell them in Espanol.
En español. ¿Quieres que lo diga en español, Mr. Troy? Vamos a
Sí,
hablar
sí,
en español
sí,
un poquito,
sí,
pues,
sí,
para
adelante.
el número sorteado en el bolido de anoche. Y esperamos que haya ganado Don William que siempre anda comprando bolido.
Aye.
Right?
I don't know if you win 64 played on Sunday, and now we have 63 playing. So.
¿Verdad? Él siempre conoce las cosas, conoce los números muy bien. 63, 63, 63, 63, el número sorteado en el bolido anoche.
For those,
63.
for those persons tracking oil prices, a barrel of oil this morning is trading at $71.89 US.
What that mean, Mr. Troy?
It's falling. It's falling. It's not going as fast.
No, you don't go too fast,
but it's going down. What is happening right now?
When we feel the impact like Belize, Mr. Troy?
I would say maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll start to see some adjustment, maybe just a tad bit longer, because you know what's happening, Chief, that nobody pays attention to? The ships that, about 600 of them, and these are large ships like the size of 2 football field, was sitting out in the Strait of Hormuz trapped for the last 2 or more months.
Yeah.
And they start to go barnacles.
Exactly.
And so they can't
move
sail.
fast, because
so now they have to get divers to go and clean them. So that's another delay in terms of the
because they just sit in the water. That's it, you know.
Yeah. So unknowing and beknowing to most persons, that's now an issue. While everybody is happy the strait is open, the traffic is not moving as fast
as they could. They can have a clean up the
because most of them have grown barnacles, right?
And that's impede their rapid deployment.
Yes, indeed. So all the propellers are contaminated with it, gunk and barnacles. So a lot of jobs if you're into that diving business and
if I was younger, Mr. Troika,
you get in there with your fins and tank and mass and get underneath there.
At this age, I'll watch you do it.
And lance it down.
I'm much older than you, so I'll just watch you do it.
Yeah, myself, I will pass on to the younger folks. There are a lot of money to be made in the strait if you're in that business right now.
Yeah, let me just share here what popped up when I asked for a positive affirmation. You know, to improve your mindset, because you know your mind is responsible for almost everything that happens to you. Almost, not everything, but almost everything.
Yep.
Right, because your mind really tells you a lot of things, but you know, too often we don't listen to it, and we don't understand that our lives go where our mind takes us.
I know what matter.
Yeah, you have to think of something before you do it. You know, regardless of what it is. If it's even a flash start.
Yes, sir.
It had to have crossed your mind, and then you do it, right?
Just do it.
So, but so if you feel at peace with yourself today, then obviously it's your mind. So I decided to look for some positive affirmations, and this one popped up. Let's say positive affirmations for inner peace. I will stop worrying about everything. Make sense? I will stop worrying about everything. I will live a healthy lifestyle. I will stop thinking about past events. I will forgive myself and others.
Sound like New Year's resolution.
I will forgive myself and others. I am becoming more at ease with myself. I will be more honest with myself. I will do what I love to do. I will take things on with a gentle approach. I will stop feeling the need to control everything. I will let life play out on its own. I will let life play out on its own.
Yes, sir.
Because these are important thoughts, thoughts. Try some of them more. Of course, all are important, right? Do what you love to do.
Yeah.
Take things with a gentle approach. Stop feeling the need to control everything. You feel like we have to control everything and everybody. We can't control everything. I can't control how you're thinking, Mr. Troy Gab.
Nope.
Right? I can't control your thoughts. Only you could do that.
Yeah.
Right? So I can't control your actions either. Only you could do that. I could talk to you about consequences of your actions.
Yes, and you could try.
I could
you could try
advise you,
to dissuade you.
And I could try to dissuade you, and I could try to educate you. I could try to help you to think different, but I can't force you to do it. You see, those are things that only you can do for yourself, right? So, that's why you have to be honest with yourself.
Yep.
Right?
So give yourself some room and some space to clear your head.
And of course, another thing too is the need to forgive yourself and forgive others.
Okay.
You make mistakes, you forgive yourself. Your mistakes don't define you. Your mistakes should serve as lessons so you could learn, right? Mistakes are not there to sink you. Okay, I made this mistake. I'm sorry I made this mistake. That you learn from it and you move on.
Move on.
Right? You
Okay.
move on. Right? And only you could condemn yourself. Because people could make a lot of noise out there, only you could condemn yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You keep your eyes on the goal and
Eyes on the prize.
and you're okay.
Yes, sir.
At a recent event, I've addressed of late 3 different graduations.
Okay.
Right? And I want to thank those who honored me with the privilege of being guest speaker at their graduation. Let me just say very quickly, because I want to talk about a part of one of the speeches there.
Yeah. Right.
San Francisco Roman Catholic in Orange Walk, Lady of Guadalupe High School in Belmopan, and yesterday I was at San Marcos Roman Catholic School in the Toledo district.
They're both.
Right? So I want to greet the folks at San Marcos Roman Catholic School. But at one of the presentations, I think it might have been the first one or second one, I don't know. I recalled a conversation I once had with the father of the nation, the Right Honorable George Price, when they were criticizing him and saying he asked other things about him, right? And I looked at him and I said, how you cope with that? I mean, out there, it's not all over the place, right? He said, Rene, I don't listen to that noise. The noise, I have my eyes focused on one goal, the secure independence of our country. He said, I know I hear a lot of noise. He said, but my eyes have to remain focused on the goal where I'm going.
Yep.
And people are entitled to make that noise.
Set your destination course and move forward.
Let's move forward.
Yep. And I think that's a decent mantra to try to live by, because you're going to have
much younger then, but I never forget.
You're going to have dissenting voices, and bear in mind that even in that time, there wasn't social media, so it was just more real organic bickering and the newspapers and so. That. But now it's even worse now.
But the idea is that you will be criticized, but the thing is to stay focused on your goals. When you have your goals, you just remain focused. His goal was a secure independence of belief, so he remained focused on that, because when you start to
And I think that
Unravel
is
the
so
new-
significant.
the
I know we have to take a quick break because we're way over time.
Of course.
But,
But we'll have no guest today. So
but yeah,
basically
yeah.
the lines
So
will
let's
be
take the
open
break
all
and then
morning.
we
So
we pick up the
yeah,
conversation.
that's a good idea.
18 minutes to 7
break
o'clock.
and
We
we'll
take
come
the
back.
break, William, and we come right back.
It's now 15 minutes to
7, Chief.
7 o'clock, Mr. Troy Gap.
Yes,
Las
sir.
7 menos 15 minutos aquí en nuestros estudios. Buenos días, buenos días, buenos días. And just before the break, what were you saying, Mr. Troy Gap? You were telling me something yeah, before.
No, I'm telling you, this weekend is going to be a big weekend for me.
I know your Rebels.
I've been
your
working
Rebels,
at it for the last
Your Rebels are doing-
since February. We're in the finals. The
Yeah, I know,
Orange
I
Walk,
know.
the
Doing
Pelican Orange Walk Running Rebels are in the finals for the first time since it was a member of the National Elite Basketball League back in 2014 when the league was formed. That's basketball being played at the highest level, most competitive level within the country. At the semi-pro level, it allows our Belizean players and talent to be paid at least a salary, for them to play basketball, at least for the period of time while the season is on. But certainly, it's a big achievement for the Pelican Orange Walk Running Rebels and the Orange Walk Tongue on a whole, who has been at it for a very, very long time, supporting the team. They're the sixth man. They are our sixth man. And so we certainly congratulate the team, its management, the sponsorship, the sponsors as well. But they could not have done it without the fans. So we continue to salute the fans. And this Saturday night, Chief, at the Belize City Center, we go up against the Belize City Defenders. this is the finals. It's a best-of-5 series, and this is game 1. So we are urging all the fans to come out on both sides, but of course we want to have more Orange Rock supporters in the city center than anybody else, than defenders. So we certainly look forward to that game on Saturday and to be able to give a report on Monday morning when I come in, God's willing.
Okay.
But hopefully it's good news. But it's going to be, it's probably the most anticipated finals of all time, because the two teams are extremely competitive. Just a point or so had separated us during the course of the season. So it's two teams that match up well, so it's going to be a slugfest. And so I think fans are going to be be able to experience the best basketball at the highest level being played in Belize. I also felt that on Saturday night when we clinched the game, won the game in Orange Walk, it was probably the best game of the season. And that's not me saying it, is the fans and all the viewers and so that has reached out during that time. That is probably one of the best games, the best played game that they saw. Very extremely competitive, but not only that, played at the highest level. And so, again, congratulations to the team and congratulations to both teams that have made it to the finals. So I want to thank the government as well in terms of the structure and guiding the process and trying its best to get the facilities in place to be a little bit more pleasant for the fans, because that is also a component that impacts fans' attendance, when you're in an environment that is a little bit more conducive to watching the game. So all of that put together has made for a very successful, wholesome season, one of the best supported seasons in the whole 14 years or so of the or 12 years of the national.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a very good season.
Of the NEBL
Indeed,
season.
yeah.
No? So I just want to say that. What else have you been up to, Chief? I know you've been touring the country.
No, not necessarily touring, but I was in the Toledo district yesterday. I went there since Monday evening, because you had to talk that we had promised to be at the graduation of the San Marcos Roman Catholic School, and to be the guest speaker there.
It's a high school?
It's a primary school.
Primary school, okay.
Yeah. And it was a good occasion. We sat next to the alcalde and the chairman, so that was a very good conversation.
There you go.
And very good friend of mine. I want to tell them good morning. And thanks for all the wonderful treatment. And then obviously the principal, Mr. Estevanico. Oh, by the way, I call his name because he's in his last year. He's being transferred, and so I want to wish Mr. Iko the very
But
best.
you were the guest speaker or something?
Yeah, I was a guest speaker.
Okay.
I was a guest speaker.
Okay.
Right. But Javin Ack impressed me. He was a valedictorian.
Okay.
And he did a great presentation of his life, what happened in his life. He had some challenges. He was a little young boy, but he...
That was primary school, you said, right?
Yeah, primary school. So he had some challenges as a young boy, but he overcame those challenges and graduated with honors as the #1 graduate, top graduate.
I guess he'll be moving on to high school.
Yes, moving on to high school and everything. So,
Okay.
there were Javin Ack. You want to call the name? Just,
Up to
I
you.
know a lot. This one easy because I know a
9
lot.
minutes.
Javin Ack, Amir Chok, Leonardo Chub, Jaden Ukub, Byron Mas, Jermaine Muku, Ronald Muku, Enrique Rax, Nigel Teul, Marcelino Yats, Pedro Yats, Irma Kaal, Rosa Kaal, Indira Chok, Katie Pineda, Nirvana Rash, Shadina Rak, Kizaya Shaw, Raquel Teskum, and Joycelyn Scholl. Those were the young.
Well, congratulations to them. No, we certainly.
That was nice.
We're certainly glad that our young people, and that is what I've always been saying, and we have been discussing it on the show for a very, very long time, that we have the majority of our young people doing good things, moving forward, going towards building this nation and contributing.
Yeah.
And we don't pay enough attention to that group. Sometimes, I would say we get overshadowed oftentimes by a few bad actors who try to defy the structures that are in place, and continues to kind of impact negatively the not only the news cycles, but the overall outlook of our society and our economy. They damage us. They damage our image, because because we are not like that. That's not us. We are those young kids. That's
right.
who we are, and so I don't know when we are get it, when we are going to get it, or what needs to happen for them to get it.
I felt so proud sitting there looking at young believers. I said, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does irks me. It does irks me. I mean, because when I look back at my challenges and my time growing up, and how while we look back now and realize it was difficult while we were going through it, we felt that was what we had to do. We had to study with lamp. We had to go to the standpipe to wait for water. We saw that as a process of us growing up, and we made good with it.
Yeah.
We didn't see that as an impediment. We didn't see that as any reason for us not to go forward. We just saw it as an obstacle that had to be overcome. And so when I continue to hear this crying and weeping and grumbling, and I'm saying, you're saying nothing new to me that we didn't experience. It's nothing new. So get over it and use it as an opportunity to develop yourself.
That's right.
Make yourself not a menace to society, but an asset.
The theme yesterday, Troy, at the San Marcos Roman Catholic School graduation was rising today through knowledge and perseverance, leading tomorrow with purpose. That was the theme we spoke about.
There's always going to be need for perseverance.
Rising today through knowledge and perseverance. Yeah, knowledge and perseverance, just stick to it, and then leading tomorrow with purpose.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So thank you so much, people in San Marcos, Toledo District.
I certainly look at these things, and we have, in this country, we have all these various distractions. You have the political issue right now where the news is dominated with these multiple payments. The nepotism slash probably the whole perception and so of corruption. The optics is extremely bad, and I hope that they finish the audit as quickly so we know where the chips are going to fall. Because at the end of the day, those things distract a lot from progressive things that are going forward. Because we have a lot of good things going on. We're doing this huge overhaul of some of our major infrastructure, especially bridges in Belize City. Some of the major thoroughfare is going to be upgraded. The George Price Highway, the Philip Golson Highway. We have all of these things going on, and many other projects. We see the buildings all over the place. We see the explosion in the tourism investment in San Pedro. We're glad that the Strait of Hormuz is now open. We could start to see some tumbling of the oil prices because the acquisition cost is going to go down. I just read you and show that it is going down.
And let's hope it continues a downward trend, and nothing have to be carried up again.
Exactly, and so we hope that cooler heads will continue to prevail globally, and the nonsense that continues to be spewed is subsided, and we could get people moving forward in a progressive way again, and so Americans start to travel, and so because that was my fear. My fear, if the cost of living continues to remain high in North America, where the bulk of our tourism dollars come from. That we are going to be impacted by it, and that is going to, and once tourism gets impacted, that will impact agriculture, transportation. Every single component of this society is impacted by tourism because it is a big chunk of our GDP. Almost probably the majority of our GDP come from the tourism dollar. So the reality is that we have to pay attention to all these things and see how it is that we are going to overcome it.
Yeah.
A good problem to have is that our unemployment is low. People can't find workers. That's a good problem to have. Not a bad problem. Yes, if you're the business owner, and so it's a problem for you. Yeah, it's a problem for you. But from an overall macro standpoint, that's a good
shows
problem
that,
to have.
That unemployment is very low in the country at the lowest level.
Because that's one of the jobs of government, to be able to put its people to work.
Yeah.
You know.
Love, good morning.
Yeah, I'm on the air, Mr. Ray.
Good morning, sir.
Hello,
Hello. Yes. Good morning.
Mr. Rennie, can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Mr. The way we gonna go on the Prime Minister, the way he really, like where they buy the pan. Now what the Mr. Johnny be saying on the pan? Mr. Johnny, where you the pan? This man sound like somebody dead, like he's sad because Mira in the Smiths. And like, you know, they might feel like we see now or what, Mr. Renee, and we're Belizeans, when we wake up, yeah?
All right.
When we wake up.
Thank you,
But
caller.
to see the Prime Minister, to see how the Prime Minister hosts, like, I don't know, like, and still talk about, yeah, Mira, they do a good job. Man, that what the Belizean people want to do, Mr. Renee and whatever, Mr. Troy, what the Belizean people want to. Because they get this thing, man. Then they just make them go absent. And by just being absent. And some of them journalists where they're out there, you know, need to start ask good questions to them guys that, you know, they need to tighten up the game for ask them about
You should get in a profession when I start to ask the question.
You know, but then Mr. Renee, where we are, like, them by just come bamboo. Because they don't lie again, you know.
We hear you, caller.
Yeah, but you can tell the profession and start to ask the question. Every Belizean could ask questions.
Thank
They
you.
don't lie again. This is what you call bamboozle. This is when, like, I tell you that phone when you got enough feet. I did bamboozle, like, I tell you, Mr. Renee, you know what? The phone when you got, and I heard, you know. And so, and you have to bring it back, and the bamboozle. Oh, come on, Belize. We have to see where we
Thank you, caller.
Thank you, caller. Everybody entitled to their opinion, and you're certainly entitled to yours. All right, thank you. All right, all the best.
Thank you. I will say this about the whole journalistic fraternity. I felt that when the whistleblowing component, meaning the leak, occurred after Smart Stream, I felt that the media latched onto that and tugged that to what the old saying, to nomo. And so I wouldn't want to. I would think that you would want to applaud the media corps for sticking with the process and not letting it go away, but, you know, and so. And
I started to feel when I reported from his angle, because the report from how it really is.
Yeah, and I always say, well, I understand the caller, he has his bias.
Of course.
And so, because obviously he has, and so because of that, I have an objective view all the time. And I believe that I have always said, the politician, you'll get the question from the politician because that's the question he wants you to ask, and he will answer the question the way he wants to answer it. You will take the opportunity to air it, and then it is up to you, the listening public, to determine whether or not you are satisfied with the response.
That's the point.
But the right questions, as far as I am concerned, are being asked, even though many of them might be leading questions. It's a question that I can't fault the media for asking.
No.
But it's 7 o'clock straight up.
I'm no longer doing that kind of reporting that Troy Gap, so I just listen to it, you know, and
you present it.
And present it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a minute past 7 indeed, Mr. Troy Gap. Let us tell folks that the lines are open right through until 9 o'clock this morning, so you got all morning for talk. But whatever you want, bring up.
Before you go break, maybe this makes sense. He said, good morning, I agree with you, Troy. When growing up in the same era like you, we had struggles. We didn't born with silver spoon in our mouth. Our parents worked hard and we made them proud by going to school and making the grades. We grew up going to standpipe, accompanying our family members to throw away night deposit because a lot of us didn't have SOA system. Our fun was joining acolytes program in the church, Boy Scout, 4-H, and any type of organization. We played sports within the neighborhood and had to be home before dark. There you go.
I had that kind of experience, Mr. Troy.
Yeah, so what I'm saying...
Some kind of experience was sharp and make we decide that here what
crying.
do better.
Quit crying.
You know? Yeah.
2 minutes
Yeah,
after
take,
7.
take the break.
We take the break, William, and come right back.
It's all 6 minutes past 7 o'clock. Las 7 de la mañana con 6 minutos. Buenos días. Good morning, Belize. And wherever you are, we thank you so much for choosing love on a beautiful...
Hump day.
Let's try again.
Yes, yes, it's a Wednesday, Chief. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. We are getting ready for the weekend.
Yes, and the lines are
I'm
open
looking
all
forward to the
morning.
weekend, you know.
So whatever you want to bring up, that's okay with us.
I'm looking forward to being at the city center on Saturday. You know, it's a good feeling. You know, I kind of like when I have something extremely positive to look forward to.
That's something exciting and positive to look forward to.
Yes, man. Yes.
Right?
You should try to find your silver lining. I tell you all already, amidst all the noise, nobody could get under my skin. I can't have fun. Anytime I
try.
Anytime I have stop having fun, I stop coming here.
Yeah.
So
we want you to continue having fun, Mr.
All those persons who feel as though I am somehow annoyed, stop it. You can't do it.
Yeah. Love, good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to partake in the show.
Yes, please do.
All right. Here we are in circumstances. My indicative prime minister was George Price. He brought me into this party here.
Indicative?
And I expect better.
He
I
was,
expect better. That was the late George Price at that time. Well, I am saying that PUP should continue his advocation because of the circumstances now. John Briceño, our present Prime Minister, ignores these points. I am with a controversy that PUP could have been better at this time here. But the Prime Minister has to act and react. I'm sending this to you, Mr. Prime Minister. Whoever does wrong, emanate him from this party here. Because we, the Belizeans, are listening carefully to everything that is taking place here in Belize. Belize should be better now than it was before. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you too.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you brought up earlier the issue of George Price and his singularity
It's focus
on
a better Belize.
And that's one of the things that we oftentimes see within the democratic system, the democracy, that it is a popularity contest and you're structured and trying to please everybody. Basically, that's how the whole concept of democracy is structured, right? But let's take the call.
Love, can I help?
Wow, a lot of help, brother Rene.
Hi, how you go? How you doing?
John, live long, boy. The chief just mentioned your name.
I said I hear from Johnson's morning.
Yes, see that?
Yeah. Controversial.
You live until you die.
Cheetah for trouble. Hey, Troy, this is only one hump, this is a bump.
All right, bump up.
Now, we're going through COVID, we never learned the lesson. We didn't know there was another crisis, and we still not get a sense of these things. Troy, people will survive, adapt. You know, the same things. We had some technical people coming and show me how people make manure into gas. No, but we depend on the rich thing because the more convenient. We're going to have butane. Methane no hard to make. And the technology we have now today and the intelligence where we have the talent of Belizeans who is in the background because they are not listened to, they are not heard, and everybody they from a rush. Now, what happens is that this methane will subsidize your use for butane. You're not going totally methane, but if you put some crap in some water, lock off the drum, let it in the sun for 3 months, gas start farm. Then you look at the other countries there where Costa Rica, the people they sell butane
there's a methodology where they use a balloon, they expand to make it hold the gas to a capacity, and then they use a compressor also a refrigerator. I never know the refrigerator compressor. Now they use a compressor also
never know that?
I never know that story. I never got no
refrigerator compressor? Compressor.
Anyway, go ahead.
As I go, so these
That normally the first thing will go bad.
Now that more people can wake up, Troy.
No. Go ahead.
Make a point, John.
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Don't interrupt you.
That we are not looking in the right place to look for solve the problems.
Okay.
Now that the one saving we are telling about the gas for the manure where they are all over the place, with overflow there that the place then the dump site then we know they use it. Then the another thing so is that when you talk about just now I look at the physics. Then got one starter and then they got one the next thing so you know more about it where perpetually spin one to get it in motion. And then you get the alternator to make the alternator charges and you get one cycle. We don't use no energy but it produce electricity.
Yes.
That just to get it started and the spinning they happen, we could start utilize that. So and these things come in where
Friction.
You call them they're not total, but you could use them to do some car savings. And I just put this out there to make a wake up the level of education where we got in at the school, Troy.
Yes.
I tell you, I do physics in at 72. In at 72, I'm done the land of broke up the uranium.
Right.
If you tell the child
Send you
what
Iran.
the number for the uranium
I send you to Iran.
uranium. Then he look like you laugh.
I send you to Iran, go do inspection. Make sure enrich the uranium. Thanks, John. Good to hear from you. I'm glad that you're home.
Okay, John, thanks.
Yeah, John called me, I think it was yesterday, he said he was in his hospital for a few days, so I'm glad that...
He got home back.
Yeah, he got home. That means that he's, whatever it is, it's clearing up. I think fundamentally what happens is that we, as an overall society, times have shifted. We use that as a excuse sometimes and say these are different times.
Yeah.
Yes, economies shift. You look for where your strengths are. Our strength is in most services than maybe in the whole industrial structure. While we look at some other areas which are big in manufacturing and so, we, especially in this region in the Caribbean, seems to be more service-oriented, i.e. tourism and other type of service, BPOs and so. Those are services that we are exporting technically. That brings in foreign exchange. While there are other things like products and so. So the engineering side is not going to be a strength that we see on the near horizon that we are going to be able to embrace. So we have to find out where our niche is and get good at it.
But the technology changes so fast, right? As we know.
But somebody is changing it.
But there's somebody changing it.
And it's not us.
And it's not, well, it's...
Yeah, we embrace it.
We embrace it. I just pick up my phone, look at this little phone here, right? When we were growing up, Troy, it would have taken equipment that filled this room, a whole room, to do what this one little phone can do. Right, we'd have had a whole host of equipment to fill this room just to do what this can do.
You were a DJ, you started out with reel to reel, then you had to go to records.
Then records,
so when you were playing out as a DJ, you had to carry cases and cases.
Cases and records and some turntables.
Now you carry,
two turntables.
Now you carry a USB,
a computer,
external hard drive.
Or a hard drive or a computer and a mixer, and that's it. And one sling bag across. First, you have to be boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff,
Yeah, one knapsack.
So the technology has changed. Well, speaking on a personal note, though,
opportunities.
Of course.
So you embrace it.
On a personal note, I am happy that I was able to live through those changes.
Yes.
From when you had the records and the tapes, the spool tapes.
You just did the another night to remember.
And I just took my laptop. I took one bag.
Yes,
one bag with me. I collected to the equipment. But I was reminiscing that before that, I would have had to take, when I can remember when we started Analytic Remember 33 years ago, we had to use some
Vinyl.
turntables and vinyl and boxes of records behind you, and you're going through the records and you're putting on a record here, putting on a record there.
Chewing it up.
And then you don't have time to put the record back in the package, so you just put it there, and get the next one, and if you don't know your records, you're in trouble,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then cassettes came, and that made it even, to me, even worse. I think I prefer the records and the cassettes. Right?
Then CDs.
Then CDs weren't too bad. I remember DJing with CDs as well.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
then now
Oh, yeah.
with just the computer, I had to
Now
get
it's
used to that
MP3.
computer. MP3, I had to get used to that, I still not used to it yet, but, we adapt.
Yes, indeed.
So hats off to the modern DJs.
Yeah, and I was making the point that there's a general feeling often as I listen to John is that there is a regression, maybe in terms of our academic acumen, and so we see that as something regressive in our society. But I am saying that because of where we are located, not only geographically, but how we were trained and structured, and because we are considered third world, we don't have the level of investment coming in to make us industrialize. So we find where our strengths are going to come from in order for us to survive. That's what opportunity is. So we have good climate, good weather, maybe decent beaches, clear waters, those
Only
things.
English-speaking country in Central America, beside the United States and Canada. And so,
absolutely. So let's embrace that. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of making the opportunity, the obstacle, the thing that you call an obstacle, your opportunity, and let that be your shining star.
That's right.
And so what we have done is that those things that we realize, we'll not have no big factories going on here, manufacturing no cars.
We don't have the population to support it.
Yeah, so what we have? Well, we have nice beaches, we have nice clean waters, we have good people, and we have a lot of different other offering like Maya ruins and lush jungles and things like that. And so we found a way to let that work for us.
But try economically, have we taken into account, or do we take into account, that, for example, in a neighboring country of a few million people, to build a mile of road would serve maybe, 50, 60,000 people, a mile of road, or a mile of electricity expansion, or a mile of water expansion. In our country, a mile of water or electricity expansion
And road.
would serve only a few hundred people.
Yeah, you can go for miles
You could
where
go for miles and just see nobody, but the road still has to be there.
And no side, because you have to get to that point.
You have to get from point A to point B. Why?
Yeah.
Because in other words, what I'm saying, that there are more people paying taxes in a more populated country. There are more people paying taxes,
Yes.
so you have more
Contributing.
revenue generation to build the same length of road that we are building
I
with
remember,
our people, with less people.
I remember going the first time to like Barbados, and this way back maybe in the early 90s and so on. I was with the telephone company and having these discussions with some of the technical people, and I was saying, you're so small. It's like if I run too fast, I fall off the island. I like to tease them. And so, because I said to them, we have an island, just an island that's your size, San Pedro. Ambergris Cays is the same square miles of Barbados. So we were saying if I run too fast, I fall off the island. So I was saying just maybe getting a telephone wire from one district to the next in my country, wrap around your country so much time, so it's cheaper. Things should be better for you.
You should be able to live cheaper in Barbados.
Because it takes less to develop the
infrastructure. We run miles and miles just to reach a few people. Love, can I help?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to talk about the mental health issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Purdue had it that a 10-year-old had been killed several days or Monday, some days you had it. But I had an incident that, my concern is that if they're mentally ill, isn't there a program or a system? Because I had an incident where I had to take a person to Belmopan, and when they got in the system, the person was from North, and they already had that person in their system, you know. So I was wondering if the system couldn't record these mental patients and see where they are or who they're staying with, because as far as I know, a lot of incidents that these people involved in don't normally get on the air, don't get along, you know. But if they would have a system that they check on these mental, because I had met the mother of this child that had been hit in Belmopan with one of these mental patients, and she had to do all her bills on her own, all the health. And even now, the child probably going through some recall, you know, like. So I was wondering if the system don't have the names of these mental patients, and for workers to get out and see where this, because you go on Albert Street and they're following, these mental patients are all the way to where you're going to buy behind you. So
Yes.
my concern was, and the problem is sometimes your teenager is left in the vehicle and you're hurried to get the product you, because you don't know what their mind of state is, you know.
Yeah.
So my concern is that if they don't have names in the system and get workers to see, follow up on these people, because you can't even be on the street safe. That's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you. Troy, she's concerned about mental health,
Yes.
right? And people seemingly affected mentally, walking about in the streets and interacting and what have you. Can you recall in the old days when you had the Seaview Hospital, what they call the Seaview Hospital?
Yeah.
That was bigger than the normal medical hospital. That was huge. You remember the Seaview Hospital was for mental patients.
Zafar?
Yeah, that was destroyed during Dark
Yeah,
Zafar,
Zafar.
but I think it was never replaced.
No.
You know,
Well, we tried something in Rockville,
but it didn't work.
which was Rockview.
Rockview.
And then I understand that got converted into a sort of youth center,
center
holding
and
place
what
for
have you.
some of these at-risk youth. And then somebody told me there's some place in Belmopan, but that has been an invasive discussion that has been going on for some time.
You talk about
We've done it
health
here.
otherwise, but we don't talk about our mental health, which is
We talk about
extremely
these
important.
people who are, whether you want to call them vagrants or they're mentally challenged or whatever the case is, that I think
human beings too, you know.
maybe
So-
about 2 months, I don't know how long ago, but I think there was a cabinet brief that came out that said that they were going to try to do something about that by picking these people up or so, but I didn't see that get enacted in any way, shape, or form. We continue to have these sort of vagrants on the street that they do create some fear in the minds of the citizens.
Granted that there was a stigma thrown on the mental institution that was out at the barrack. They met, it was, we used to call it Crazy House.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
But that used to be full, you know, because they would not allow you to walk, in the colonial days, they would not allow you to walk on the streets in that kind of way.
Yes,
You are like that, they take you and they carry you straight.
Yeah, but...
How used to say it? Straight to Crazy House.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they used to say it.
Yeah.
You know? You were picked up and taken straight to Crazy House.
Yes, indeed.
You know, which was the Seaview Hospital.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Out at the barracks. It had it, even before Hattie, it had its own wharf out into the sea, where boats would dock and they walk straight up. Dr. Mason Brown, you remember Dr. Mason Brown? You remember the name? Or
Yes, I remember the name. I remember
he was one of the famous psychiatrists or managers of that institution that people can recall. That I can, an old person can recall. I mean, I'm 76, so I could recall. I could recall anything.
But we are here now at this point in time, and so we have to find a way.
At this point, I'm just trying to relate. At this point,
the situation.
That efforts were made in those days to solve it. We have to continue making
because
efforts now.
we get sidetracked by cars, because it and this and that. The bottom line is that the state cannot allow on a continuous basis for the rest of this. We already have problems with the young people keeping us scared and confused and uneasy, and then we add another layer of confusion because we allow those persons, because we see them every day. And people will tell you.
And if you care for them, some could be rehabilitated. Once you take care for them and give them proper medication and take care of them, then they can come out back and what have you. But you need to have a process.
Sometimes they need medication.
They need medication.
Because there's medication sometimes to calm them down.
To calm them down and things like that.
Different things. Because sometimes some of these mental persons can become very violent. People call here several times with horror stories. Just recently, a little girl was cut on her face. A schoolgirl was sliced with a box cutter from one of these persons. We saw the chairman of the United Democratic Party mother was punched down just before in the Christmas season. About 2 or 3 persons was punched down by that same individual step by step as he moved through a lane or a street. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying that it's not that we are oblivious and we don't have the evidence in front of us, but we need to be able to say when enough is going to be enough. The same way we're trying to do all our corralling of the persons them who want to continue to hold this city and country hostage. We have to be able to deal with this sort of vagrancy. It sends a bad image. It doesn't have to be. Yes, you'll give me all the excuse that some of these people don't want to stay, because I hear all the excuse already.
Rights.
They don't want to stay in the place when you're carrying, they don't want to bathe, they don't want to eat, they don't want to follow rules. Of course they don't want to follow rules, because you have to enforce it.
Yeah, love, can I help?
My name is Sarene.
Good morning.
I'm calling about 47 Victoria Street, the senior citizen. I understand the minister is Charles Henry Oshal. That person has not even have a visit. His number is 605-3368.
Well, we mentioned it. The same person we talked about the last time?
Yes, sir. That is.
3668.
On a meteor the Sunday.
Yeah.
At Belmopan. That's the same senior citizen. I live in Belmopan, so I'm far away from him.
We made a call.
The only way I can support him is to call you.
Yeah.
To ask you for your assistance to get to that, ask that minister to go in that alley at 47 Victoria Street. That senior citizen is almost ready to drop through his bathroom. The house is the biscuit. This is a hurricane season, Mr. Rene.
Yeah, no, you can't get in there.
Once a man, twice a child.
Yeah.
You understand?
Well, we brought it to their attention, but well, let's hope, not to him, but for other people, and I thought something was done.
I went to a certain house, and the vigil, no call, no name, told me that, oh, you get the pantry, but why your belly full and your head wet? No make no sense.
Okay.
And this is the last, I wouldn't say the last time, but if I have to call again,
feel free to call, ma'am.
That's what it's all about. So please, it's a shame to be calling about a senior citizen at 47 Victoria Street over and over. Okay. You know?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Have a nice day.
Sure.
Bye.
I'm reminded that we also have opportunities in agriculture that we can embrace.
That's right. But we have to embrace the opportunity right now of taking a break. It's now 30 and a half minutes past 7 o'clock. And let's take that break at 7:31 and take the break, and we come back to the lines. Like I said, I open right through until 9 o'clock. So let's just take the break.
Good morning, Belize. A moderate to fresh and relatively moist easterly airflow prevails. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today with cloudy intervals, and high temperatures today are expected to reach 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, to 93 inland, and 82 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be partly cloudy, becoming cloudy at times, with low temperatures of 82 along coastal areas, 74 inland, and 68 in the higher elevation. Shower activity will be generally isolated except for the south, where a few more can be expected at night and early morning. The wind will blow from the east at 10 to 20 knots, and the sea state will be moderate. A high tide is occurring, and this will follow by a low at 1:07 p.m. Another high will occur at 7:15 tonight and a low at 11:56 p.m. The sun rose at 5:19 and will set at 6:30. The moon comes up at 16 minutes past 2 this afternoon and set at 1:46 tomorrow morning. The outlook for Thursday and Thursday night is for partly cloudy skies, and showers and thunderstorms will be isolated during the day, then increasing over the south at night. In the sargassum forecast, there is a medium chance of more sargassum mats affecting coastal destinations during the next few days, producing moderate impacts. And in the tropical weather outlook, no tropical cyclone formation is expected near or over Belize and her coastal waters during the next 48 hours. And with that, we conclude your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
Prepare for the sweltering heat with
minutes past 7 o'clock, las 7 de la mañana con 36 minutos en nuestros estudios. Good morning, Mr. Troy Gabb, and
Yes,
all the best to you on a beautiful
It's a hump day.
Hump day.
24 minutes to 8 o'clock. You got to be at work at 8. You better be moving, guys. You better don't be out the gate. Otherwise, you will be late.
Mm-hmm.
So we got very quickly as it relates to the senior citizens. I was just saying, somebody was just enlightening me and said that it is a complaint that could probably go to the Human Development Ministry.
Okay.
Right, and the Family Support and Gender Affairs Department, the Family Support and Gender Affairs Department in the Ministry of Human Development might be an area that also could be sought out for support of this particular senior citizen, no?
Well, I have to bring it to the attention of others, including our own Rotary Club, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Right.
I'm reminding also that food and energy security is another big issue, as was brought up by the call from John. No? So it will be good to look south and adopt some of their ingenuity.
Food and what?
Food and energy security.
Yeah, try what I admire when you talk about food security, and I've seen this experience. I've done a show on it. But one of my Billy's Watch shows, when you visit a family, for example, in the Toledo district, a family that believes in growing what they eat and eating when they grow. I mean, Troy, I keep saying this over. I say it already. You go out in the backyard, you have the chicken. You feel like you get your chicken. You get the chicken lay eggs. You got eggs. You grow your corn. You grow your beans. You grow your whatever else you need, try whatever you could, your grown food, your cassava, your this, and it's right there. So when you're hungry, you just go and blam, cook this today, and do your thing, I mean, you might say, okay, we're not getting enough yard that believes, but I guess we have to start.
That again, that are just excuse.
City, no?
So just excuse you're making. I mean. People have enough space. You have enough space for putting small patches of things. If you want,
supplement. Maybe not for the whole thing.
No, if you want, you could certainly supplement your diet, supplement your grocery bill with vegetables and different things. And could be. All of us have at least, in terms of the urban setting, at minimum you have not everybody, but I would say that it would be in the majority that you have some level of yard space that could accommodate. There are some places where multiple houses are in the yard, so have the opportunity for things like that to occur, especially.
There are exceptions to everything.
Yeah. So I'm just pointing out, but in the majority, because most persons, we have this tendency. I don't know, and I guess it's probably global that we're selective in terms of how we process.
I mean, white canned food.
Yes, but when we talk about these things and trying to urge people, and we're talking about persons in majority, somebody will go and find the one anomaly to make the whole 99% doesn't work because there was 1% that they felt was adverse to the discussion. So I always just push that aside. Nobody will distract me with that nonsense. Every time I hear callers call and come with a one-sided thing, you want to look at the glass half empty, you go right ahead and stay thirsty. I want to take my drink from the glass half full. That's me. And I can always talk like that because I never had no silver spoon or no gold spoon, and so I have tried to make the best out of a situation, and I'm glad I have this opportunity, privilege though, to have these kind of discussion openly.
But Troy, to me, in life, you have to have a goal and one dream where you want to head to. If you
may listen to Ebenezer, none of us would be sitting there.
I wouldn't have, the station would not be here if I had listened to what they were telling me at the time it was created.
Absolutely.
I had 23 years ago, I had people to tell me that's the end of you.
Yeah, you can't compete with the government.
You can't compete.
The government-owned radio station.
People will tell me they witnessed the fall of Rene Villanueva. Right? The end of Rene Villanueva, the this, the that, the this, the that. Sorry for you, boy. I make it. My last dollar I invested to you, boy, because I make it. And the more they told me that, the more I was determined that I had to do my best to make it.
You
Right?
have to prove,
You have to prove.
the naysayers wrong.
You know,
Naysayers,
I have to
because
do
you,
my
you
part.
had some people who were prodding you on too.
There
and
was some,
encouraging. Yeah.
in the minority at that time, you know, that was saying, you know, God is strong, you know, and so on. A few believed in me, obviously, right, and what have you. But it was difficult. But every difficulty became a learning point, and that is the thing. You see, the thing is not to allow your difficulties to bring you down. Yes, they will discourage you, but at the same time you say, what lesson can I learn out of this? What is the lesson here? You know, and then you learn, so you don't fail, right? Failure happens only when you give up. But if you don't give up, then and you continue, then you will eventually, after trying here and this not work, you try here, that not work, you learn the lesson here, you learn the lesson here, you learn the lesson here, you keep learning. So that eventually you could get up and say, you know, this has made me a much stronger person because I've emerged, I've learned that this is the way you do it.
And
You know?
and as you're talking about that,
So you learn from your
I go back
failures.
to especially during the time of COVID, which then saw the emergence of so many small businesses coming out of COVID, where persons
Yeah.
were at home and there are certain deficiencies that had occurred,
And
and
they
they
had to
looked
fill in.
for opportunities, and those opportunities has now turned, for many of them, into budding business that they're earning a living from that. That's their way of life now. You know, whether they were making trinkets, whether they were making soaps, whatever they were doing, all of these things, persons were home and they found something to do. As a matter of fact, the whole explosion of these things like TikTok and so came out of necessity. Those things grew. Teams, all of those Zoom, all of those components
so
ballooned because that became
So
an
that
opportunity.
failure became
Because
people
persons
learn
were
from
locked
that
up, and so but we needed to communicate, but we weren't able to be able to be in the same space as other persons because you had to keep your distance.
you see,
we were still able to communicate.
And when all that was happening, you could have said, this is the end of it. This is it. This is it.
You know, many persons lost their jobs,
You know,
because
and they found new ways of creating a way of living for themselves, and then everyone want to go back to their job.
Yes,
I've known
sir.
one or two where lose
Yes.
their job during COVID, and when they come out, they said, I'm working for myself.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I could
You know?
recall somebody asking for the info on the senior citizens, so I'll be able to pass that on shortly when we take the break.
Yeah,
So
605, please.
some help is coming, so I'm glad that
People are responding.
yeah, people are responding. So clearly, love is everywhere. You know, at the end of the day, when we have these discussions, it's not so much to chastise, but it's all to kind of create the level of inspiration in our people.
No.
To say, listen, it's not the end of the world. Things are never going to be perfect, because that is the enemy of the good. But we always can find that silver lining to be able to benefit ourselves going forward. Because the idea is sometimes you're not going to be able to go as fast as we want to go, but as long as you keep going. That is important, as long as you're moving forward. If it is that it's your education you're working on, or you're in a job, it may not be the best job, flamboyant, but
It
you
doesn't
got to
matter.
hang in
You
there.
want to make, but you want to make you happy.
Yeah, you got to hang in there. You know, and look for the
provides
silver
a living
lining.
for you, and then you say, okay, I'm here today. I'm doing this. When I was selling burgers, sell burger store in 1982. Well, after I left between the Vogue and marketing director at the Vogue, and when I left there, and well, I started when I was still there. But then at one time, that was what was sustaining me.
Super B.
Super B, Belize's finest burgers. But you know, I always like to be called a burger man, right? So, but my dream and my goal was not to sell burgers, but I had to do that. But my dream and my goal was to be chief broadcasting officer. That was my dream, my goal. So when the opportunity came, I applied for that, because I kept that there. And I remember one of my friends telling me, boy, but you have a successful business. You got 3 burger shop. I had to build the 4th one, right? Well, you were going to get a mess at the government fund, this and that, and what have you. I said, well, it was always, radio is my first love. And it was always my dream that one day I'll be Chief Broadcasting Officer. And it was my goal until I became Chief Broadcasting Officer. The first Chief Broadcasting Officer to be duly appointed after the independence of Belize.
Yeah.
Right?
It's history.
Another history. There are people acting in the position before, granted, but the first duly appointed Chief Broadcasting Officer in after independence of me. And not only that too, right? We survived the 2 changes of government. You had the change of the in 1984, December 84. You had the change again in 89, and we survived the 2 of them, and end up freeing the media along with Right Honorable Said Musa, creating the Broadcasting Corporation of Belize. So, come on, man.
Yeah. Indeed. So,
and I started Radio Belize.
Let me tell you.
I started Radio Belize with $15 a week.
Yes, indeed. Well, the fundamental issue here is the fundamental issue here is that as we are talking about all of these variation of how we supposed to approach our own life and looking forward as the micro and the macro side, we start with ourselves from a micro standpoint, and then we branch out where it affects everybody else overall from a macro level. It is not so much to want to kind of beat. It's not a chest beating situation, but it's to be able to put these testimonial out there to say to others that you could do it. You could do it, or you could do better. You have a better opportunity now based on what is in front of us to be able to excel at a higher level.
The more I was told I know make it, the more determined I became to make it. So you want me excel? Tell me I can't do it. I can't make it.
And making it is just as a frame of mind, because the whole concept of self-actualization, it is an ebb and flow. I always used to teach my students them, especially when we were doing like organizational behavior, human behavior, as it relates, there's something called the Maslow hierarchy that is used consistently, showing how you progress through life and where your interests and your development goes. And at the pinnacle is something where they refer to it as self-actualization, when you feel like I've arrived, I've done it, I've made it.
No, you never.
But as you move through that hierarchy, you notice that from the bottom to the top, it changes from hard things such as your housing and your clothing and so to abstract. It's a feeling.
As long as you're alive, you never stop learning.
You never stop actualizing.
You never stop learning. You learn every day. You learn from all your experiences. Right? You don't know it all. It's a learning process.
Well, you'd be foolish to think so. And that is when you get in trouble. That you finish learning and you know everything.
Finish learning, man. You don't know everything.
And that is a...
10-year work can teach me something, right?
Absolutely, especially now with technology.
With technology, please.
And the whole advent of AI, because that's another discussion we are not having. How that AI is going to impact.
That's a good one too.
Is impacting is going to impact going forward. And even the government and everybody has to start looking at policies to be able to embrace it, because it's shifting and moving so fast.
The education system has to be looking
at the globe has not caught up with social media, has not caught up with the technology. And now AI is a technology that is so far-reaching, so explosive.
And it's so personal, you feel like you're talking to somebody.
You don't know what is real and
it's a machine it's a robot you're talking
anymore.
To. But you feel like you're talking to somebody. Can you tell me so and so? Oh, yes, I can tell you this and that, and Yeah.
And so
you feel like it's another person. So if it tells you something that is not good for you, you can very well follow it and find yourself in trouble.
Well. Again, we still have to apply a lot of common sense. Right? Because for the same reason, we have heard, I had an interview a Belizean American mother where her son was led into committing suicide by dealing with AI. and so on. It's tragic. So those are glaring examples of how negatively this technology can impact you.
Exactly.
So you don't know what is real and what is not real.
Not real. Because it seems so real.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for the man.
Calling
How can I help?
Good morning.
Morning.
Can you tell us who was the first broadcasting officer?
My what?
Can you tell us who was the first broadcasting officer?
The first chief broadcasting officer?
Yes, sir.
Late Everett Waite.
Yes, sir.
Late Everett Waite. He was my boss at one time.
Okay, then, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
say
Everett Waite,
broadcasting and information in the early 1960s, Troy, were together.
It was a department.
It was at one
Government.
department, but then they split them. And so Everett Waite became the chief broadcasting officer, and Rudolph Castillo became the chief information officer. Right? But they were both, while Belmopan was being built, the house, Albert Catus building was built, and so you had the information department in the ground floor when it was created.
And Albert Catus building is where
upstairs
BTL is right now on Regent Street.
Now. That was built for broadcasting because, of course, that was the technology at the time. That was the big thing at the time. You know, I can recall as a little boy, and I think you heard the story already, as a little boy, 14 years old, coming here on holiday, going to see my godfather, the late George Mackenzie, who was a broadcaster. He was the one that I wanted to follow when it come to broadcasting, because I went to see him 14 years old to take him a Christmas card at the Albert Catus building. He took me up in the elevator, you know, and showed me around the studios. Then he put behind the microphone. He took me where the microphone was too, because at that time it was very cumbersome. You had a whole technical operation on one side, and one microphone, a room with a microphone, and he would say, "Shh," you know, and then he talks, you know, and then I said, "That's what I want to do. That's always been my dream." And now I see how it works.
Is there?
So I'll go and sit down in front of the Albert Catus building many times and look up there and play back in my mind and say, one day I got in there.
All right.
And I got in there.
There you go.
And control it eventually too. Anyway, that's another story.
And nothing wrong with having dreams and vision.
That's the point when I talk about dreams and vision.
Yeah.
If you know where you want to go, you'll go there. But it's not. There's no direct road. You know?
Yeah.
I had to be a messenger. I had to be a servant. I had to be a kind of thing before I could get there.
You're going to be knocked off your plan, but you have to find a way to detour yourself back to
exactly. Keep your eyes focused on the goal.
You want to end up, and so that is so important.
And you might have to do this in the meantime to get there. You know.
Indeed.
Well, you know. So don't get discouraged. Don't make nobody discourage you.
And when we look at all of these issues, because of course you know, politics is always the elephant in the room. Right, so I don't want anybody to think that we are trying to not having any of the hard discussion and none of the major items that are on the forefront, because I know that those issues are going to continue to be discussed ad nauseum. But the fundamental issue is that should not be what dictates how we progress.
That's
not
right.
Because they are doing nonsense. Yes, you have to call it out and deal with it in the right way, but you have to continue progressing your life as well, because if you let that be the reason why you stop progressing or stop trying to build yourself, your micro self, and worrying about those macro issues, because you believe that it's affecting me and it's taxpayers' money and da-da-da-da-da, and so you stop doing what you want to do, then you're doing yourself and your family and everybody who invested in you or who believed in you a disservice. Focus on where you want to go. Mira and for him code and for him family and their problems, they want always there and they want get what it is. If it is they did something wrong, the system will deal with it. You trust me, the system have a way. The system have a way to clap back, whether it's going to be at the polls or wherever. So that I tell you, don't make that distract you as an individual. Stay focused on yourself. we want to talk about whether or not
yourself.
we think that there was a corrupt actor. So let the audit and let the chips
You
fall
can
where
talk
they
about
may.
it, but not make it affect your life.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
know?
The Prime Minister will do what he thinks is best in his best interest and his party's best interest.
So, you know?
And maybe the country's best interest.
Yeah.
And you have a right to object to it.
object to it, yeah.
But don't let that derail you.
Mm.
Keep going to schools, keep doing your studies, whether it's nursing, whether it's
Building
doctor, whether
yourself.
it's continue to improve yourself. That's my message continuously. I believe that and I don't know how much more we could talk about these issues, because I know they've been discussed over and over all the smart stream expose. The fundamental issue here is I'm glad that they're doing an audit on this matter, because two things. I want to know if they follow the right protocol, and I want to know the reasoning behind why you broke the payments, because that is bad optics in the first instance.
Yes.
I already said to people, for me, I don't classify it as nepotism. You that is substantive minister and one of your relatives get the contract, you can't avoid yourself. Whether you're going through the right protocol or not, it will be classified as nepotism.
It will be classified as
in
nepotism.
the story. So we know we inquire about that, so one can have no issue. In fact, sometimes people say to me that it's hard to avoid nepotism in this small country.
It is hard, but you have to do your best, right? In a private business, that's a whole different story.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But when it comes to government, you have to be very
nepotism
careful.
speaks directly to government,
Yeah.
The definition, and I will pull it up and read you the
Nepotism about
definition.
government,
And
yeah. It's not about the private
Yes.
sector. But listen to me. When I was chief broadcasting officer, right, I wanted to give my son a job. So, I told him, I said, you want work for free.
Mm-hmm.
How you mean you want work for free? I am not paying you.
Yeah.
Right? You want to come learn. I just give you an opportunity for learn, but I will not pay you a salary.
Okay.
Right? And I just finish
Yeah.
here. I will not pay you a salary. So the boy come, he work hard. Right? His supervisor come to me and say, when you pay your son? I say, what do you mean I'm not pay my son? I want to pay my son when you put in a writing. Not verbally, in writing the reasons why I should pay him. Right? You like supervisor. Right? If you think he's good enough for the job, put it in writing, detailing why he should get paid. Right? And the supervisor did that. And that's how that started. Right?
The practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by
with
giving
government
them
money.
jobs. Especially by giving them jobs. What you did was nepotism.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you tried to do was to let it not appear naked.
You did it the correct way.
Yeah, but it still is, because
it still is.
You had a era of power and influence that you could have assigned.
I could have just pulled in this.
Yes,
but
you could have done
to.
so, but you did, but you were able to do so. But the point I'm making is, for most persons out there to understand that, I know they defend nepotism. I don't classify what happened with the Mira situation. With the Mira situation, I classify that. But that is not corruption, in the sense that they do not get value for money. We're not there yet. I want to see what the audit, because the audit is supposed to know, did the government get the value for money? Because if it got the value for money, then if these people are in that business and so on, they went through the right process, and they were the one that won the bid for whatever reason, whether they were cheaper, they were better quality, whatever it is that the selection committee thought that gave them the edge, then let that be clear in the public domain. And let's find out whether or not these drip of payment.
That's the whole long and short I try. You have to make sure you could out of public scrutiny.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why you have the teacher, right? Seat writer.
So it's important. It's important
Good.
that
in writing, in the public service, you have to do everything in writing and the proper way.
See, somebody asked the question, say if a family member is qualified and because he or she is a public officer or head of a department, they can't be hired.
No,
To
that's a
me,
fact.
once honest work is done, they deserve the job.
I agree with that
Remember the
comment.
former Prime Minister phrase,
But you do it the correct way.
parson christen his picnic first. I'd say. Well, I
But you do it the correct way.
was trying to stay away because under the Dean Barrow administration, he had a litany of nepotism that had occurred
Well,
that I would
that's
classify in the same line. You know, his wife, his daughter, his brother, his son. So I'm not even going to go there because we addressed them many times under his 13 years rule. So that's why I'm not sugarcoating what I am understanding happened with Mira. It's nepotism.
There's precedent. Yeah.
Well, 2 minutes after
In
it.
some cases, no?
Yeah, but it's a bad precedent, but
Well,
it
in
happens.
some cases, but it happens. 2 minutes past 8. We'll take the break and come back. Son 5 minutes past 8 o'clock, las 8:05 en nuestros estudios. Buenos días. Good morning, Mr. Troy Gabb.
Yes, sir,
And you were
Chief.
telling me that you got a few texts.
Yeah, quite a number.
Nepotism is not a bad word, you know. No,
well, people are pointing out that if person's qualified for argument's sake,
qualify.
Like when the Prime Minister used to hire his brother, like Dennis Barrow, at that time he was the one that considered one of the best attorneys.
Qualify, the man qualify, you qualify, you qualify. Love, can I help?
Good morning.
Morning.
I just called to say happy and pleasant good morning.
Excuse me?
Hello, I just called to say happy and pleasant good morning to Mr. Troy and to Mr. Rene.
Oh, tell me, Papi, good morning. Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning to you too.
Blessed and happy good morning, and you know, it's good to see you guys on the TV now and again, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I like Mr. Troy and his wonderful home day, you know. It's my special day. It's my special day of being on Love FM.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate it.
All right, yes, and you guys have a blessed day, and as always, you're doing a wonderful job for our country, informing us, keeping us updated.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller.
Thanks for calling.
Yes, you have a blessed day.
You too.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, Troy.
I think this is another question that brought up a reference to another viewer said, Troy, maybe the question to us is nepotism a crime?
It's not.
Or just a moral wrong? So I'm just saying well, like I said, we use it as a bad word, right? We use it as a politically bad word, and so we see in the United States, the entire cabinet are made up of friends and family of the president when he goes in, and it's across the board. Yeah. Well, you see, so what I'm saying, I'm not here to justify anything that one may think might be morally wrong. However, I always like to have the discussion in an open and frank setting so that people could start to look at things from different sides.
If I need to buy apples, Troy, and you are growing apples in Belize, which is but let's use apple first. And you could grow apple and you're buying apple, right? And only you that I believe to grow apple, and I need the apple. But you just happen that you're like my cousin, or my picnic, or whatever. But only you to grow the apple. But I need the apple. Where am I?
And you can't get it from nowhere else, or you can't get it a bit cheaper from nobody else.
No, that is where the investigation comes in.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know, could I have bought it somewhere else? You know, but if only you have it, then I will buy it from you.
Because the corruption will then come if it is that the prices are inflated, or you didn't deliver the goods, or different things, or you never follow the protocol.
If somebody had it cheaper and that kind of thing, then we could look at all of that. Yeah.
Good morning. Hey, Mom, I'd like to know if the Mirrors had this contract